What's up, guys? Mr. Dan here. Had a strange night last night. Did not expect to watch a movie and review a movie this morning on a Tuesday morning, which is really like a Monday morning since yesterday was Labor Day. But, I've been getting awoken at early in the middle of the night now and then due to reasons. But, so last night I got up at 3. I could not go back. I got up earlier than that. I could not go back to sleep. And I had made my patented sausage strata recipe the day before, which has to sit in the fridge overnight. And and that takes an hour to cook the next day. So I said, you know what? I'm not going to fight it. Let me throw that in the oven, watch a movie, and have a good breakfast. Start my day off with a good breakfast. So here I am. So I watched Who Invited Them on Shudder. Lots of good movies on Shudder, new movies on Shudder if you haven't checked it out this week. I was going to go with Watching with Miyako Monroe. It's probably the more high-profile film. This is a Shudder original film. And you'll have to look into the description for the names of the actors, or I'll put them on screen here. Film. At any rate, you have a couple, Adam and Margot. They've just moved into a very nice neighborhood. Basically, Margot is worrying. What we learn is that she had a music career at one time. She's moved away from that. She's worried that they're overextending themselves and that the house is a little, they might be living beyond their means. Her husband, Adam, says nonsense. He's trying to impress everybody, and he's worried, and he's a little concerned that his wife, and what happens is they have a dinner party, like a housewarming party. He becomes annoyed that she is kind of like hanging out in the kitchen and not kind of putting herself out there and mingling with his coworkers and his boss and that kind of a thing. And while he's giving a toast, he looks up and he sees a couple, and he kind of does like a double take. It throws him off his toast for a minute because he doesn't recognize him. And there's her one friend whose house her son is sleeping over. At one point, she's in the hallway. Her husband goes into the bathroom or something, and she sort of sees this guy, the guy that was staring at the husband during the toast, come out of a bedroom, I think, and shut the doors behind him. And he makes an excuse like, "Oh, I was just looking for the bathroom." It's an awkward exchange. Anyway, after everyone leaves, or after you think everyone has left, Adam and Margot are kind of unwinding, and she closes the refrigerator, and this woman is standing right behind it and gives them a start. And then at first they're pretty confrontational, like, "I don't like, who are you? You need to leave." Oh, before that they were like, "Wait, I thought you knew that couple." And the husband's like, "No, I thought you knew that couple. That's weird." Okay. So anyway, the guy has this kind of way of being like a smooth talker, and like he kind of gets what he wants. So he kind of, they kind of confess, "Oh, listen, we're your neighbors. We got one of your party guests parked us in. They drove over one of our I forget what he says, solar lamps with their Prius, and they parked us in. So we just kind of walked over. I apologize." All this stuff, and eventually they start having drinks together, and it gets pretty wild. Some cocaine comes out, and it's funny because I just reviewed a movie on Tubi where the cocaine came out, and people, in my opinion, sort of became unlikable. And that kind of happens here too a little bit. The wife has a way of getting some. Both they kind of go off into their different groups. The two guys and the two wives, and they kind of. The visitors, the unwanted guests, sort of get the information about the spouses out of them, and later that sort of comes out, and there's some confrontations, and it's almost like they're just playing games, and they're just manipulating them. Meanwhile, you have a plot point where the best friend gets to the house. Something happens on the way home with her and her husband. She gets a little upset about it. I won't go into that, but that was a bit of an odd plot point too. But eventually she has a reason to go back to the house. And she calls first, but there's no answer. So she's making her way back to the house as this night gets a little more awkward, and it goes through cycles of awkwardness and cringiness. And, the one husband, the guests intimating to the husband that, hey, maybe we should have a little menage action later, a little menage a trois. And some, all the things that are told supposedly in confidence to the new friends sort of come out. And eventually, they're just pretty much asked to leave, and there's some more information that is found out about the house. The house does have a history that the husband knew about, the wife didn't, so that's some of the information that comes out. She's a little upset about that. And just as the neighbor is now coming back, which, by the way, seems like it takes a while. Okay, this is an hour and 20-minute film. It's not in real time or anything, but it does seem like it takes the neighbor forever to get back, even though something happens on the way. So that coincides with a final confrontation and a final reveal, and that's pretty much what I'll say. So I kind of like the reveal. Maybe you can see it coming, maybe you won't. Maybe, you know, but then there's also the way it wraps up, which I thought was a little clunky. Part of it, do you remember, you know, the Simon Oakland character in Psycho who sort of explains thing at the end? A lot of people have had some criticisms of that as being almost like ruining a perfect movie. You know, they bring this guy in to sort of explain everything at the end. Well, guess what? Somebody turns on a radio at the end, and what is the radio talking about? You know, things that are pertinent to the case. You know, it's very convenient. So, I don't know. I enjoyed it. The reviews are all over the place. People are like, it's the greatest movie ever. Other people are like, you guys are bots. This movie sucked. If you look on Shudder. I'm going to say it's more of a 3 out of 4 stars. Maybe a 3 out of 5. Maybe a 4 out of 5. Regardless, an enjoyable hour and 20 minutes. I kind of enjoyed it. You know, I'm probably not going to go back and revisit it anytime soon. If this one would show up at Dollar Tree, yeah, I might grab it. Okay. All right, guys, that's my review of Who Invited Them, a Shudder original film. Thanks a lot. Later.